All right, hello and welcome back to Supercoach Challenges. This is the last trade targets video for this week. I think going forward, I might just do it all in one because I mean it might be a little bit of a longer video, but rucks especially, there's not much to talk about. I think we all know it's pretty clear who we want to try and get in from here. So I'll probably do trade targets and then maybe discuss how we're finalizing the team and maybe just have a look at the teams actually quickly as well. So looking at the rucks, I think really at the moment there's two clear rucks, the 2, 1, and 2, and then everything below that's kind of a bit of a rabble. So number one is Timmy English. 683k is a hard price to swallow, but he has a good run of rucks coming up, especially starting with Hawthorn. And hasn't scored under 130, and doesn't look like scoring under 130. He hasn't scored under 130, has he? No. Bloke has not scored under 130. Seems to be safe as houses. Everyone's waiting for this injury that's not happening. So just get on him and just look. I think that the reason you can get on him at 680 is because in this position, there's not really many who will even go close at a lower price. I mean, Darcy's 600, but you know, he's shown that he can score pretty badly as well. He is kind of matching him over the last three. But whether he keeps that up will be interesting, especially against OMAT this week. Otherwise, speaking of other rucks that are kind of relevant, Brodie Grundy, probably the time to jump off. The break-even spiked to 132. He was probably lucky to get to 80, to be honest. I think Gorn kind of said, let's just get Grundy in the ruck because he's got a bit more movement to him against Richmond, and it worked for him. So maybe he will get a bit more ruck time. But at the same time, I just don't know if we can like having these two rucks together and trying to choose. But one will probably go good one week, and the other will go good. So it's a bit hard. Rome Marshall, he just kind of hasn't moved anywhere, has he, with his price? Probably doesn't help with scores of 88 and getting subbed out early in games just to rest him. And Machito Owen's also getting a bit of that ruck. A lot of us have him, but, you know, if you have nothing wrong, moving him onto a Darcy, if you don't have Darcy, or an English, if you don't have English, could be quite a good move and a little bit of a pod move. You can see Darcy's only 10% owned, so everyone's jumping on that. If you already have English and you get Darcy in, it's a pod. So you might as well, you know, have a little bit of a look at it. Otherwise, looking at rucks, look, there's not much here. Witts is one, but he's had that injury cloud. Something's wrong with his back. And surprisingly to me, Trape is in more teams than Darcy and Witts, which is quite interesting. Obviously, there was the cash grab with Grundy, which is why his is a bit high, but that's wild. I mean, his 3-round average is 101, but that is wild. I mean, Witts' average is 115. A lot of people jumped off him when he got injured. He has gone down, so and I'd say his break even's actually, yeah, he's quite high, but he's coming up against, I mean, like Soldos and O'Ruck and that Samson Ryan. So yeah, he could go big this week, but yeah, I don't know. That's just wild to me that Draper's so high. Yeah, looking at that, there's only really two rookies that are quite interesting here. So Bryn Teakle, probably too much to be thinking of bringing him, especially as a sole ruck. I don't know if you really want that at 190k. Max Gorn is an interesting premium to look at maybe a little bit down the line. His break-even is 228. So if he goes like an 80, he's losing another 70k, which means we're going to get like a 4. You know, it's very possible we're getting an under 500k Max Gorn, which hasn't happened in a while. But as is with Grundy, you have the issue of him sharing the ruck. So maybe not exactly preferable, but if he does get a forward line role, he could be straight into that team. Otherwise, there aren't really any rookies to talk about. Soldo, yes. Callum Coleman-John's got a game. That's interesting. But yeah, Soldo could be one if you do have Grundy that you look as a money play. I don't know how long this lasts because I don't know how long Nank's out. Actually, in saying that, Nank is one you could look at bringing in if he's back injury free. Uh, he played through that injury and still scored a 90. So his break even's not going to be that bad. And his scores before that were actually quite serviceable. So might be a cheap rut that people start to look at, after the bye. Otherwise, not really much to talk about in the rucks. I think we just all know it's a choice between English and English at this point. And if you don't have English, then you're trying to get English. There's still only 41% owned, so and 10% of people run a Draper, so actually 11%. Interesting. Only 57k rise, so yeah. So let's move into the team then. So the moves at the moment are Mitchell and Coniglio, or McKenna and Ash. Now, I might make this. I'm actually going to change this, I think. And I've just been thinking about why I'm going to change this, and I am going to change it. Because if Cogniglio does score good this week, it's probably going to put him at the price of this next player anyway. I'm not sure I'm going to really worry about losing maybe 20 to 30k. Whereas Rosie has a really good run. And at least we skip Cornelio if he does play bad. Now I accidentally press. Oh no, I press confirm. Beautiful. Yeah, I think that we just go Rosie. And we need to start moving these guys off. I think I'm gonna look at. Can I look at? Yes, I can with Chessa. So no, I can't. We can't really loop here, but that's all right. I think we might play Samson over Green in the end. Yeah, I don't know. Samson does have wits though. But Green has Mitch Lewis coming in. I don't know. We'll just stick like this. But I think that looking at it now, well, we could lose 20k on Cogs, but I'd rather see him get another big score with Greenbat now and against a hard competition in or a hard team to score against in Sydney. Let's see that score and then we can go off that. I did hear, and we'll go look at that, but Chandler's been named in midfield apparently, which is going to be really good for us and everyone who owns him. Not so bad if you skipped him if he is actually getting midfield time. Brady Galea, still making us money. We're just going to ride that gravy train until it stops. I can't believe at one point we thought we made nothing off him. Like those first 3 scores were so bad. And then bang, 88, 88, 75. You love to see it. You just love to see it. Tommy Power should be going up. Have we got any break evens to really worry about? Just Torn Francis, and he can go next week. As I said, happy to keep Hunter because of his run, just for the points on field. Otherwise, probably only Sheasel is the one to worry about. Wiedering hopefully should reach that. Otherwise, we're looking not too bad. Not too bad. So let's have a look at the teams quickly. Because I think there were some interesting outs. So we'll just quickly go through and have a mention of these. So Jace Burgoyne in. He played last year, so I think he's going to be paid what? Yeah, 298. So not worth talking about. Otherwise, nothing really to talk about here of interest. It looks like young Williams is getting another run. So that's very nice for people who went on him. I think he's 160k now, so kind of not really worth it. Now, the big out here was Corey Wagner, making the decision easy for a lot of people because they were picking probably between him and a few others. I think that kind of makes Sam Stir a little bit more safer to pick. So if you want Sam Stir, probably go him. But otherwise, nothing really interesting here. Looking at Sydney v GWS. Now, obviously, we've got Sheldrick coming in due to an omission of McInerney, which let's see if that lasts. Gould looks to be out as well. Tom Green back in for GWS. Rouston omitted hurts those owners, and he hasn't made much money either, so good luck. Toby Bedford. Yeah. Is he a rookie? His name is not coming up. He's a 273k forward. So he must have played before for him. But he's new. Interesting. I thought new meant they were debuting. Maybe he's new to their team. He's played somewhere else probably. What do we got here? What's interesting? Anything interesting? Nah. Cogs Green and Kelly are the midfield. That's nice to see for Ganelio. I think I'm happy to wait on him and see what happens. And Angwin's got that nice bench position, which is fine. Hawthorn actually quite interesting with Weddle coming in. So one to keep an eye on. Day is back in. And Day is named on the bench, which is fine. Same as Mitchell. And Green's actually on the bench as well, which is quite interesting. Hopefully that's not a sign. But I guess if he gets straight out, we just all trade him if he gets dropped. But it looks like he could be just one game off that. So that's a little bit scary. Even Scrimshaw not getting game. Ugh. Man, that's interesting. I don't think that bodes well really for Mitchell's job security. I think one bad game he could be out. But yeah, let's just hope he plays well. Bulldogs, not much news here. Libber out with the injury. Concussion. McLean, just man, we were all thinking we were going to pick this guy. He had such a good year like a few years ago and just never has been able to get that form back, and I reckon he's probably off the list by the end of the year. Yeah, a bit sad, but that's just the way it works with footy sometimes. Will Phillips omitted. That's just, what are they doing, the Roos? What's Phillips done? Like, honestly, didn't get started at the start of the year. Then he plays 2 games, and then all of a sudden he's straight out. Like, and you're playing CCJ. Just what's he playing? A backline role? Nope, he's in the forward line. I didn't know that Daniel Howe and Darcy Tucker played forward. I thought they played defensive role. Oh, Sheasel's off that back flank. That's what we like to see. Makes sense that they would drop probably Tucker and keep Sheasel there. I was hoping that Tucker wouldn't do something stupid and play Sheasel off a bloody forward line. Jai Simpkins back. That's why Phillips is getting omitted. That's supposed to be a long injury, wasn't it? I thought it was a broken hand. That's actually really interesting. Like, what are we being told for injuries? Because I swear people said Simpkin broke his hand and he was going to be out for weeks. Unbelievable. And as we see with Melbourne, there is no one getting. No one has been. See, Chandler is a follower. Nice. Van Rooyen is still full forward. Is he one game away from being dropped? Harms is the sub. That is 100% the sub. Tom McDonald on the emergencies, so that could be a bit of danger for Van Rooyen if he has a bad game. But otherwise, the only talking bit is Simpkin. I guess that makes sense why Phillips is omitted now. Actually, Carlton as well. Sard and Doherty back. So Doherty, I think, is back early as well. I swear this was supposed to be like 4 or 5 weeks. How long's Doherty missed? I swear this was supposed to be 4 or 5 weeks. And it has been 2 weeks. So that's once again, teams just, that has to be just a lie about injury timelines. Surely this is like Tom Stewart at the start of the year. They said he was going to be 6 weeks and he missed 1. But anyway, good for Carlton. Not good for everyone who traded outside and then Doherty, eh? But their defense looks a lot nicer now, I'll tell you that much. Ollie Holland's still playing well on that wing. A lot of people are going to trade him, but he has been a rookie who's actually scored well. Like, I think there is a point where you can look at trading out players for money, but also players who are just not scoring well. Because we have been having a lot of injuries, and if you have a rookie like Hollands and that, I mean, it can be a good score to have on the bench. West Coast getting a couple players back, but they lost Shuey, so get one old guy back. lose one guy as well. Actually, the big story here is that Ned Long still isn't playing. Noah Long. That's annoying. See that's another injury thing. Like when you say soreness, what does that mean? Like soreness is an injury. If you're telling me soreness, it seems like something's come up sore and should be back next week, not a 2-week injury. I mean, I guess you could have a sore ankle or something and it keeps going, and they're just like, we'll keep you out another. I guess especially for West Coast, they might be wanting to keep someone out, but it's annoying. And Calma manager, actually, that's pretty big for this. So as I was saying, I think in the defensive video, if Shinkoda stays, that is going to be really good for next week. Like this is probably very much preferred for us because with Doherty inside back, because if Shinkoda holds next week, he's over Cowan now that Cowan's out. I think that's a very big move for us, and helps us really with our decision. Essendon managing Keppel. Is D'Ambrosio going to get a game? I think if we look at the ins, surely McDonald, Tip and Woody is going to be the sub if he plays. Nick Hind obviously going. He's on the bench as well. Interesting bench. They've liked the 2 rucks, so I'm going to assume that Phillips going to play. Hobbs was sub last week. Davey Jr. and McDonald, Tip and Woody are the same player. I just really can't see you picking McDonald, Tip and Woody over Davey, but Davey wasn't that great last week. He did kick a nice late goal, but yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I think Davey could be close to being dropped as well, which is not great. Geelong are brought in Jed Buse. I mean, it's hard to guess on this. I'd say the top 4 are probably the guys who are starting, and the bottom 4 are the guys that are going to be out in their interchange. Gold Coast Suns, so obviously Tuke Miller's injured. Davies has been in, but he is named on extended bench along with these other 5. Surprisingly, Gold Coast, Ned Moyle rested. Just say he's omitted. Like, why even that's something to nitpick at as well, but don't say he's rested if you're not actually resting him, because you weren't resting him, you were omitting him. So just say he's omitted. What's the point? Honestly, what is the point? But otherwise, not much there to talk about Gold Coast. A little bit going on here now. But they're still giving Tyler Young a game. Ugh. I thought he played pretty average in that last quarter. Like, he let Van Rooyen kind of tear him apart a little. Maybe it was because of the coaching choices of Dimmer, but yeah, I guess they got to get these defenders going. But I am surprised he is on and Nathan Broad isn't named. But I guess Ben Miller would have to be missing this one. Soldo is being named key main ruck. Samson Ryan is in the forward line, so that's a change in the team sheet. So Ben Miller probably goes out, I would have to say. And Rouse Smith, the sub again? Not sure. And then with the Crows, so it has been mentioned that, Laird is going to be named, but he is a watch. So if you're going to bring Laird in this week, you need to have someone ready to cover him. That is also including if you're going to have him in. Do not captain. That would be a horror story for you. Looking at this interchange, it is going to be Sloan, Malira, Rochelle, and Thilthorpe as the 4, I would suggest. With Schoenberg, I would guess would be the sub. And Matt Crouch could come in if Rory Laird misses, I'd suggest. Otherwise, Collingwood don't really see that. Oh, Taylor Adams named. Yeah, so Taylor Adams is in. What I would suggest is Scott Penderbury, still side bottom, Jack Ginnivan are going to be 3 that are playing. And then I'd probably say Oleg Markov would be in as well. So Kelly, Russo, and Harvey Harrison and Kruger are going to be the emergencies there. Yeah. So unless they're going to go a little bit small, maybe. Pros. Don't see the point. What do Collingwood have? I mean, they've only really got one big, don't they? I think Murphy's actually quite sizable, but I think this will be a really good game to end the week. Hopefully, hopefully Crom win. But anyway, this has gone long as per usual. Just a bit on the teams. Anyway, I think we're going to set with this. Bring Rosie in over Corniglio and Seamus Mitchell for McKenna because he's not on field anyway, and the break even for McKenna's getting up there, so might as well bank that money. If you've enjoyed the video, as I said, give us a subscribe, give us a like, and follow along with the challenge team. Bit of fun, something to look at. Something a bit different to what you probably see with every other team. Still discussing the important players, but at the same time, doing things a little bit differently. We've got people moving to our players now with Day and stuff, and hopefully we can hit another VC because that would be very, very sweet. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.